In my previous two videos, I calculated the intrinsic value of Alibaba using Phil Town and Mohnish Pabrai's method. I've included a link to those videos in the description below. I highly recommend that you watch those two videos and today's videos in sequence to get a better understanding, because each of these methods builds on to the next. Now, in today's video, I want to show you the third and final method. From the goats of value investing, some would argue the goats of investing period, Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. Now, these two need no further introduction. So with that said, let's find the intrinsic value of Alibaba using the Buffett and Munger method.
How do you find intrinsic value in a company?
Well, intrinsic value is the number that if you were all-knowing about the future and could predict all the cash that a business would give you between now and Judgment Day, discounted at the proper discount rate, that number is what the intrinsic value of business is.
According to Buffett, intrinsic value is the discounted value of the cash that can be taken out of a business during its remaining life. That's quite a mouthful, but the key here is remaining life. In Mohnish's method, we buy the business for 10 years, collect the profit each year, then at year 10, we sell the business. In Buffett and Munger's method, we also buy the business for 10 years, collect the profit each year, but then at year 10, instead of selling the business, we continue to hold it forever. As Buffett put it, until Judgment Day. Since this is money in the future, we use the concept time value of money to bring the cash back to present before adding it together. Buffett and Munger's approach to hold businesses forever is not really a surprise. Buffett has held Coca-Cola for 32 years, since 1988. Since Buffett and Munger's method is so similar, all we need to do is use Mohnish's method and change it from selling at year 10 to holding it forever. And to do this, we need to introduce a concept called perpetuity. It is the idea of receiving cash payments that continue forever. And this is exactly what's going to happen when we hold a business forever. The business will continue generating cash for us forever. There are 6 numbers that we need, and 5 of them will be from my previous video. Once again, I'll say this, I highly recommend that you watch my previous 2 videos if you want to know why I'm using these numbers and also where to find them. The equation is cash from operations minus capital expenditure. In my previous video, I used 29.8 billion. This is the predicted growth rate of Alibaba in the next 10 years. In my previous video, I used 10%. This is the predicted growth rate of Alibaba after 10 years and beyond. I'm going to be conservative and assume that the business after year 10 will only grow its free cash flow in line with inflation. Looking at the past 20 to 30 years, the average US inflation is around 2%. So that's what we're going to use. I know that right now there's a lot of talk about high inflation, but over the long run, it should average out. This is the minimum return that you want to make from investing. And Phil Town recommends 15%. Now remember the concept. If we buy this at its intrinsic value, we should be getting 15% from our investment annually. The equation is cash and equivalents minus short and long-term debt. This is money that remains after the business pays off all of its debt. In my previous video, I used 26 billion. This is the number of shares in the business. In my previous video, I used 2.7 billion. Now that we have the 6 numbers, let's put it into Excel and walk through each step. Once again, you can download this Excel in the description below. First, we grow the free cash flow by 10% for 10 years. At year 10, we grow the free cash flow by 2% and continue that forever. We bring each of these numbers back to the present by discounting 15% before adding it together. Next, we add the net cash or debt. Finally, we divide by the number of shares. The intrinsic value is 139, and with a margin of safety, it is 70. With Buffett and Munger's method, essentially what you're doing is looking at the whole life of a business. When we find a great business and nothing changes fundamentally about that business, your plan should not be to sell the business after 10 years. You would want to hold that business forever. When you look at it like that, Buffett and Munger's method to look at all the cash that the business will generate forever makes a lot of sense. I hope you got some good value out of this video. You can help me out by liking this video and also subscribing to my channel. Anyway, with that said, have a good week and I'll see you in the next video.